Hi to everyone and hi to all my YouTube followers. In this video, I am going to analyze JEE Mains 2014 chemistry problem. Before going to analyze this problem, I want to introduce myself, Chiranjeevi Paramala on unacademy, which is India's largest free education platform, and it is very helpful to the students who can't afford money for IIT coachings. And one can learn freely on unacademy by just getting registration with a valid email ID. Okay, right. I'm dealing IIT chemistry, especially targeting JEE Mains 2019 on unacademy, and I'm giving the lessons of chemistry in both the languages, English and Telugu also. So hi to Telugu students from Telugu states, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Meeru standard chemistry lessons ni Telugulo kuda pondochu on my profile Chiranjeevi Paramala on unacademy. It is very helpful to you students. Okay, right. Now how to get registration on unacademy? So by just searching unacademy on Google, you can get its homepage. By getting registration with your valid email ID, you can enter into it with your account. Okay, after entering into that unacademy, you need to set a goal on IIT JEE, and by entering into IIT JEE category, you can search my profile Chiranjeevi Paramala, then you follow me on it and you can get standard chemistry lessons targeting IIT chemistry. Okay, right. Now come to the problem here. In which of the following reaction hydrogen peroxide act as reducing agent? Now we need to check four given reactions, and we need to find in which of the reactions hydrogen peroxide is acting as reducing agent. Okay, so to give the answer for this problem, first we need to know what is reducing agent. Okay, just observe the drawings here, and if you look at the first one, the species A, consider the molecule A, and which is acting as reducing agent by just donating its electron to species B, and which is causing reduction in B. So that's why here we consider A as reducing agent. Now how can you define in simple words about on reducing agent? Okay, right. If particular species causes reduction in another species by donating its electrons to it, then we consider that species as reducing agent. Okay, right. Now how can you define oxidizing agent? If a particular species which causes oxidation in another species by accepting electrons from it, then we call it as oxidizing agent. Okay, right. I hope you understood it. Okay, then just check the reactions here. Now we need to check the first reaction of hydrogen peroxide. If you look at the reactant side of the reaction, so it is taking 2 electrons, right? Now we need to check the oxidation state of the central oxygen on that particular hydrogen peroxide. Now in that hydrogen peroxide, 2 oxygens bears a negative charge each. Okay, right. And if you check the product, that is water, in that central oxygen is having -2 charge on it. Then check hydrogen peroxide reactant and the product water. In both of them, you can observe that simply -1 charge to it is increased to -2 charge on that central oxygen. That means electrons are increased. Okay, electrons are taken by that hydrogen peroxide. Whenever electrons are taken by the particular species, and we call it as oxidizing agent. So in the first reaction, hydrogen peroxide is acting as oxidizing agent. Then we need to check for second reaction, but we need to because we need to check for hydrogen peroxide acting as reducing agent. Hence option A or the reaction A is not our answer. Okay, now we need to check for option B, that means second reaction. So just look at the reaction, that means the reactants of the reaction. Here you can see -2 electron, that means hydrogen peroxide is losing 2 electrons and it is producing O2 plus 2H plus. Okay, right. Just look at hydrogen peroxide, that means central oxygen is bearing -1 on each oxygen of the peroxide, and if you look at the product O2, in that each oxygen bearing neutral charge. That means no charge on each oxygen. That means here negative charge is decreased 1 to 0 in that particular reaction. Okay, that means here hydrogen peroxide is given electrons in that particular reaction, hence we call it as reducing agent. Just look at here, whenever a particular species gives its electrons and causes reduction in another species, we call it as reducing agent. Hence in the reaction B, hydrogen peroxide is losing or giving its electrons and it is forming neutral oxygen, hence we call it as reducing agent. So this is one of our answer. Okay, right. Next we need to check for option C, that means third reaction. So just look at the reaction here, plus 2 electrons. That means hydrogen peroxide reactant taking 2 electrons and producing 2 OH minus. That means here oxygen of the product, that means OH minus, if we see that it is bearing minus 2 charge on it. 1 is simply minus and 1 from OH. Okay, that means total oxygen is bearing minus 2 in the product of the particular reaction, whereas the reactant hydrogen peroxide, each oxygen is bearing minus 1 charge. That means it is taking electrons. So whenever it is taking electrons, we call it as oxidizing agents. Then option C also wrong one. That means we do not need it, okay, to give an answer. Okay, now we will check for option D here. That means reaction D. In that condition, just look at here, minus 2 electrons. That means here electrons are losing. Okay, hydrogen peroxide is losing electrons, then it is producing neutral molecule of oxygen. Okay, in this condition also, if you check the central oxygens, the charge minus 1 to minus 2, that means it is giving electrons. Okay, hydrogen peroxide giving electrons in the particular reaction, hence we call it as reducing agent. Now which are our options to give us answer for the given problem? Option B and option D. That means reaction B and in reaction D, hydrogen peroxide acting as reducing agent by giving its electron to the another species and causing reduction in another species, hence we call it as reducing agent.